of and member of many boards at various universities in India. With this brief, I welcome wholeheartedly Professor D. Anand sir to this online lecture session on behalf of all the participants online and also on behalf of the MNPTC Center and unit staff. Myself. Over to Anand sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, Professor Nanjan Swami. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes,
And
sir.
slides are also visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If the slides are visible and I'm audible, I will start my interaction with you. Will it be okay?
Yes,
sir.
Yes. Okay, thank you. At the very outset, I am grateful to the MMTC and Dr. Nanjan Swami for having invited me to interact with the young teachers. It's an opportunity for both of us to interact, and I'm the one who believes in learning every day. Let the 2 sessions allotted to me to interact on 2 different topics. One is on leadership and the other one on team building be fruitful in enhancing the ability of teaching and interacting both within the class and in the society. Because I was given to an understanding that the audience of this session includes teachers from different faculties. Teachers from different faculty, and most of them are into higher education at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels. The topics, leadership and team building, may look like more of business-oriented, commercial or political expressions. Many teachers may be thinking, are these topics are relevant for us to know and participate in the sessions of this kind? What type of value they are going to add to us? But I am of the opinion, teaching is not an easy job these days. That too with the advent of technology and the happenings around us made teaching and academics a highly challenging task. Incidentally, both of us, I was in academics. Even today, I feel proud to be called an academician after having served for about 35 plus years in the university. Still, I think something is lagging in our pedagogy and the content that we are delivering to students in the light of the present day changes that had happened across the globe. As such, programs of this kind must make us to have an introspection and to think about the new and innovative methods of teaching that we can cultivate in order to reach out to the students. Many a time we consider teaching as a job that involves preparation and delivery inside the classroom. But many a time I do recall, I used to say the teachers that we are not the delivery boys, picking something from somewhere and delivering it to somebody as it happens to through Zomato and other delivery systems these days. Teaching is an emotional and sensitive task wherein a matured person exerts influence on the immature. There is nothing wrong in calling immature young minds about an event, an incident, an happening, a development through a systematic and disciplined approach. This systematic and disciplined approach calls for preparation and dedication between both the students and the taught. All the time, we look at the teachers only and say that these days teachers are not serious about their jobs, and the teachers are just looking at it as a source of income and discharging their duties mechanically. On the other side, teachers are all blaming students that these days students are not that responsible and not even responsive, and they are attending classes mechanically, and there is no involvement of the students inside the classrooms. It's a fact that many a time students also come out with the statements that unless I get something different from what I know, unless I can add value to my present stock of knowledge, where is the point in wasting my time in sitting in front of a person who is shouting for his pleasure and delivering lectures, having contents that I can get on the web, internet, or different sources of information these days. Because I use the word information inadvertently, because we are living in a situation wherein people think information is knowledge and money is wealth. But it is the responsibility of the teaching community to make others to realize that information itself cannot be considered as knowledge, and money and materialistic well-being is not everything that we are looking for. Unless the teachers realize this mission behind teaching and equip ourselves to reach out to the young minds, teaching and learning will never become effective. As I use the word teaching and learning, together they are the two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. No side is significant, no side is insignificant. Both are important. Unless the students themselves evolve to grasp the things in the true spirit in which the teachers are delivering, learning will never happen. Learning is also an active process, and teaching is a very responsible, matured action that makes people to be alert and be responsive towards their commitments, both in life and the profession that they may be going to select. In that context, the topics given to me, first leadership, and then the team building. I will be talking to you with a spirit that I'm not going to tell you the theories, the models, and other things related to these topics, but I am keeping in mind that you are all going to prepare youngsters in different domains of knowledge, both science, arts, commerce, management, education, law, etc. Ultimately, our aim is to prepare responsible citizens who are going to be the leaders of the future. On the one side, keeping that in mind to prepare the leaders. On the other side, as young teachers, don't mistake me for calling you the young teachers. I'm sure you're all younger to me. And as young teachers, you should also cultivate the spirit of leading in everything that you are going to do. Teaching is not only confined to the classroom, and teachers are viewed as society. The quality of a community depends on the quality of the teachers that we have. And teachers are the most responsible pillars for anything that is good or bad that happens in the community. The first person to get the blame is none other than the teacher. Therefore, I am of the opinion the topics are significant for all the faculties, for all the teachers, both from the point of preparing the young teachers and to equip themselves as leaders to discharge their duties in a better way in the most noble profession that you have chosen. So that with this preamble, I will be talking to you on leadership. Incidentally, we are interacting through an online mode where there is no scope for one-to-one physical visibility and interaction. Despite of that, wherever it is possible, please take the liberty to raise your hand, unmute yourself, and interact with the issues that we are discussing so that we can really make our discussion effective. I'm asking a question just to put you into thinking. Do you see yourself as a leader? Do you think you are a leader? Have you been serving in a leadership capacity? If so, in what way? If anybody would like to respond to this, you can react so that others will also think on this line, because unless we think, unless we interpret, unless we internalize, we cannot teach effectively. So that first of all, the question is, do you think you are a leader? Are you a leader? Don't say I'm a professor, associate professor, assistant professor. While doing this job, do you think you are a teacher? Am I audible? Excuse me?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Anybody would like to respond to my question can respond to me so that now I can continue further. My question to you is that, do you see yourself as a leader? If yes, under what circumstances, in what capacity you have acted or acting as a leader? Think it for a while, whether you are a leader or not, make yourself a choice. But I am of the opinion all the teachers, are all leaders naturally. They are all leaders naturally. Any reactions? Otherwise, let me take you to my deliberations. Keep your reactions reserved. Whenever there is an opportunity to interact, please come out with your comments, reactions, criticisms. Even I expect for that, because when you don't agree something, that makes you to think differently. When you agree with something, that makes you to be comfortable with whatever the people are saying. So that questioning is the beginning of invention, finding new things and discovering the better methods of doing anything. But let me confine to the topic given to me. The topic allotted to me says about leadership. What is leadership? Before I go further to leadership, I am of the opinion to say that leaders are like the engines of a train. The speed of the train depends on the speed of the engine. Even in the community, leaders are the pullers of the people. The quality of the community depends on the quality of the leadership that we are getting. To substantiate this, I can recall a statement by a renowned professor of political science and public administration, Professor Arvik. Professor Arvik once said, there are no underdeveloped countries in the world, but there are undermanaged countries. No ideology, no ism, no political theory can solve the problems of underdeveloped countries, but only sound leadership and management can. Many a time, leadership and management are viewed as synonyms, but all leaders may not be managers, but all managers need to be leaders. Just like all teachers need to be leaders. It is leadership that can change the fate of anybody, any nation. Today, we in India and across the globe, there is a leadership crisis. The question is, whom to follow? People are at confusion. People are bothered to know who is right, who is wrong. Ultimately, it is the people who can direct, who can guide, who can morally work for the betterment of the people are regarded as leaders. And teachers are always of that character. Therefore, I am to say that leadership is the power that can transform anything under the sun. But what is leadership? Why we are talking so much about it? and how we, the teachers, can acquire the leadership qualities along with expertise in the subject that we are teaching. It is not only the subject that we are teaching that makes better citizens. You can prepare learned people. There is a difference between learned people and intellectuals. What we have to prepare through education is people with intelligence, ability to rise to the occasion and to solve the problems around them. Before I forget, I must tell you, education is not only to give degrees and diplomas. Universities and colleges are not for producing graduates. It is to prepare responsible citizens with character, capability, and confidence. These are the three things that education must develop in the minds of youngsters. There must be character, there must be capability, there must be confidence. In the name of academic and educational reforms, these days we are focusing too much on building capability, and we believe that skill and skill development solve all our problems. True. Education that cannot help us to earn our bread and butter cannot be viewed as an effective education. And the objective of education ultimately need not be to prepare people who can get jobs, but it is to make people who can take their responsibilities. You will be knowing education includes all the three elements: knowledge, skill, and attitude. The most important thing is the character, which speaks about the attitude of the people. Character is concerned with the attitude of the people, whereas knowledge speaks about the theories, concepts that we have developed over a period of time. And the other thing, knowledge, attitude, and the skill part, it is an operational part where knowledge can be applied for solving problems. But today, sorry to say this, at all the levels, we are very much focusing only on making our people employable. Employability is the ultimate objective, no doubt. I am for that. But that alone will not make a healthy community, healthy society. Why all this crisis across the globe? Why there is a war? You will be knowing wars are not fought between two countries. Wars are fought between two mindsets. Unless the education prepare healthy minds, it has no meaning. Keeping that in mind, I will be talking to you on leadership. Wherever you don't agree, please come out with comments so that we can interact. I'm open to learn and alter my views. I'm ready to change, because change is the only permanent things, and change is the only thing that can make things better. So what is leadership? Leadership is a process of influencing people and providing an environment for them to achieve team or organizational goals. I repeat, it's a process of influencing people and providing an environment for people to achieve their team or organizational goal. Team means collective, joint, together. Organization means the institutions. It can be a society, it can be a company, it can be a university, or even a family. It's a process of influencing, making people to work and realize the goals. Leadership is the catalyst. It is the catalyst. Catalyst means the change agent. It is the force that makes things different. It is the force that improves. It is the catalyst that transforms potential into reality. Potential into reality. What is the potential we have? India's greatest potential is the human resources, that too, the youth power. Keeping that in mind, some 10 years back, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, by 2020, India will become superpower of the world. When he said India will become the superpower of the world, he was not referring to the arms and ammunitions or the other powers of the country. He was referring to the youth. And he was very particular about realizing the demographic dividend of India. The demographic dividend is the youngsters, youth power. Unless these youth are properly educated, properly directed, and made to realize their potential, we cannot achieve the purpose for which we are teaching in the universities and the colleges. Leadership is the catalyst that transforms our potential is the manpower, our potential is the youth into a reality, make it to be real. Abdul Kalam has said by 2020, India will become superpower. Already we are in 2026. No doubt, even in another 10 years, we may not be able to realize that if we go in the present speed and present mood with the present type of thinkings. We need leaders who can think differently. We need visionaries. Leaders must be visionaries. And the same thing holds with teachers. What is leadership? Leadership is a collective, networked, virtual force with powers flowing from a jointly created and shared vision. See, leadership is not connected to any single individual. It's a collective, networked, virtual force. Virtual force means leadership cannot be seen. Leadership can be experienced. It is not the height and weight and color of the person who is leading. It is his ability. It is his commitment. It is his concern that converted into the form of powers and jointly create a shared vision. Jointly create. Shared vision means where are we going? How can we reach there? How to make everybody to be with me, taking the people together. It is something like saying Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas. Sabka Vikas can happen only when everybody is with us. Inclusive approach. Without inclusion, leadership has no meaning. A leader is one who can think of everybody. A teacher is one who think of everybody sitting in the class. A mischievous student, an obedient student, an intelligent student, a dull student, a fast learning student, a slow learning student, and even a no learning student is also our potential for conversion, potential for transformation. So that keeping that in mind, leadership is the power that can influence anybody and everybody. Further, what it is all about, leadership is the ability to inspire. Leadership is the ability to inspire. Every teacher must inspire. There is a popular saying, I'm not going to repeat. A powerful teacher always inspires, influence, and guide the individuals or teams towards achievement of a goal. Goals for our youngsters, our goal must be to the goal of the nation, the objective of the nation, the mission of education is to create a better society, a better world. And the goal of the student is to get a degree that can help them to get a job or make them competent to be an entrepreneur or responsible citizens. In that context, I said education must ensure 3 C's, that is character, capability, and confidence. It focuses on maximizing collective efforts. Leadership focuses on collective efforts. Teaching and learning is a collective and joint effort. Unless you involve your students, you cannot teach however good teacher you are. Effective teaching calls for involvement of students. It is not very significant to say how well you can teach. It is also important how well they can learn. To make them to learn, you have to motivate them. To make them to learn, you have to discipline them. To make them to learn, you have to advise them, inspire them, make a positive impact on them. Therefore, it focuses on maximizing collective efforts, creating psychological safety, and translating strategic vision into measurable reality. I'm not going to elaborate. If you have any confusions, you can ask me later on. Leadership is the social process. Leadership is a social process, like teaching. Teaching is a sociological process. Many a time in psychology, we discuss about teaching psychology and all. But ultimately, teaching is a psychological activity, but more of sociological process. It's a sociological process where the individual, the environment, the content, the timing, everything need to be perfect. Otherwise, teaching will never become effective. Therefore, to be a good teacher, you need to be a good leader. First, your intention must be to deliver, to impart what you think relevant for the people sitting in front of you. Therefore, it is the social process that involves a set of skills, behaviors, and influence to engage, involve, adopt, and contribute for the common success. If the class become effective, it is the success for both the teacher and the student. Don't think otherwise. By using the word leaders, I am also connecting with the teachers, because I said in the beginning itself, all teachers are naturally leaders. If you are a good teacher, you can become good leader, and vice versa. A leader is the person, whereas leadership is the action. Just like teacher is the person, whereas teaching is an action. Leader is the person, whereas the leadership is the action-oriented process that focuses on people and outcomes. People and outcomes. Outcomes are the result. People are the students. Results need not be all the time in the form of marks and other things that they have secured. Results can be in the form of the amount of maturity, the amount of graduation. Unfortunately, the word graduation has been mistaken. Graduation means development, evolution of the personality of the individual through the academic programs they are attending. That is what called graduation. Graduation need not be the certificate that we receive. Graduation certificate is an evidence to say that he or she is graduated. Whereas graduation means it is the mental maturity that the individual achieves, and the value added, the difference that we can see between what the person is today and what he or she was before attending the process. Therefore, sometimes people say, what is education? Education is something what remains with you after you leave the school or the college. After leaving the school or the college, what remains with you in your mind? The memories, the thoughts, the confidence, the experience, that is what education. Therefore, leadership is the most significant thing for all the teachers to think about it. And I ask you a question, are you a leader? To make you think. I'm sure by this time, some of you might have thought, no doubt I am a leader, but why should I answer this question to him? Huh? Okay, at least keep it in your mind. You are a leader. You are a leader. The role of the leader is to take people on journeys where they have not been before. Taking people on journeys. When I say journey, don't think of only the tours and the trips. Life itself is a journey. In the journey of life, how do you take the people and how do you guide them? How do you mold their actions and reaction? That makes you a leader. Leaders normally hate and instinctively challenges the status quo. Leaders are those who hate the status quo, who challenges the status quo. Challenging status quo means who are not comfortable with the constant things. Leaders never happy with the stagnation, what we call jadatva. Leaders never believe in jadatva. Leaders never believe in stagnation. Stability is what everybody wants, no doubt. But stability need not be deadliness. In a deadly environment, you cannot expect good things to happen. There must be change. There must be dynamism. There must be improvement every day. Therefore, leaders are those who hate status quo and who always look for challenges, changes. You are a leader. You are a leader. If you feel you can do things better, and how to do them better without offending those in authority. I'm using the word, you are a leader if you think you can do things better and know how to do it better than people who are in positions. Many a time in the colleges, universities, and working places, it happens. Because of the leadership quality of an individual, he or she may become popular, may become a leader and the popular personality among the audience, students, people. People in the authority will get offended. Many a time people will ask, is it me or you, the leader? I am the principal, I am the HOD, I am the chairperson, I am the president, but everybody come to you, everybody talks to you, and you are taking decisions. And sometimes people suspect, who is the leader here? Leadership is not a designation. Leadership is not a designation. Leadership is your capacity to influence, capacity to make people to look at you, capacity to make people to think about you. Therefore, if you feel you can do things better than people and you know how to do them without offending people who are in authority. Principal should not think that you are dominating, you are taking their power, that you are supplying them. But your objective must be to do something good for all. If you have that quality, you are a leader. Don't look for a designation. You are a leader if you are comfortable being challenged. Leaders are comfortable when somebody challenges, somebody questions, somebody criticizes. Even when others criticizes and make comments against you, if you feel comfortable and ready to answer their queries with a peace of mind, then you can think you are a leader. All the teachers must have these qualities. All the teachers must have these qualities. After listening to 1.5 hour lecture, student may ask, sir, what was the topic you are talking? They may challenge you by questioning, because the present day students, they are highly challenging. They feel comfortable in arguing, criticizing, commenting about others. Therefore, you are a leader if you think you are comfortable even when somebody criticizes you, somebody makes comments against you. You are a leader if you are comfortable with being under authority. It is not all the time you should have the power to influence people. When you don't have power, when you don't have designation, normally when we think of leadership, all the time we think of politicians. Only when they are in position, they behave like leaders. When there is no power, they say, I cannot do anything. I cannot do anything because I'm not in power. Designation is not the leadership. Even without power, you must have the capacity to get connected with the people, talking to people, solving their problems, helping them in what best way that you can. You are a leader if you are comfortable with crediting other people for things you helped them to accomplish. Good leaders are those who share the victory with everybody, who give the credit for others for winning anything, although they have helped the person to achieve it. Just imagine when your students achieved something, when your students have made some remarkable achievements Normally, if anybody asks what is the secret of your success, students will say, it's my hard work. Students will say, it's God's grace. They say, it's my parents' blessings. If time permits, at the end, they will say, my teachers helped me. But teachers, all the time see the success of the students as the success of themselves. More than parents, it is the teachers who feel proud when a student becomes something big in the society. We proudly say, he or she was my student, my students, something like that. A true leader always appreciates the good work made by others. Although he helped them indirectly or directly, he will not say, it is because of me they are there. He will only say, he's a good student. He was a hard worker. He achieved something like that. Therefore, you are a leader when you have all these characteristics. What makes leaders and teachers? Leaders and teachers. I wish to know whether you are getting my points. Am I reaching you? Please respond if anybody can react to me on whatever I said so far.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Follow you.
Yes, sir.
Am I reaching you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you follow
Yes, sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If there is any confusions, if I am not on the track, please ask question. Try to bring me back on the track, so that because I am talking to the screen, I am talking to the screen. Okay, now I would like to distinguish between leaders and the teachers by saying what makes a leader and a teacher. Teachers are the undesignated natural leaders. All teachers are leaders only. Teaching involves leadership in its every action. In every action of our teaching, we need to behave like a leader only. We have to discipline people. We have to motivate people. We have to support people. We need to encourage. We need to create an environment where real learning can happen. And we must set ourselves as an example for them to imitate, because you will be knowing most of the time students will not listen to what the teacher or parent says. It is the nature of the youngsters to imitate what the elders do. We need to set ourselves as an example for our students to imitate us. We need to be their role model. We need to be their friends. We need to be their guides. Every action of teaching involves leadership. Teaching profession cultivates leadership qualities like dedication, interpersonal skills, adaptability, and resilience, which formulates a different personality. Sometimes what happens, everybody may not have these leadership qualities in them. After becoming a teacher, you need to cultivate these qualities. It's a debatable topic whether teaching ability can be acquired or is it an inborn quality. Just like whether the leaders are born or made. Till very recently, people believed that leaders are born. Leaders will born with certain qualities, and it is by birth they are leaders. People from great families, people from people in the palace have the capacity to control, capacity to lead others because of their background. But it's not true. In a democratic system, everything can be taught, everything can be learned. Just like teachers' training can make an ordinary person to become an effective teacher, leaders can also be trained. We can prepare leaders. There are different types of leaders that I am not going to elaborate now. Leaders by birth, leaders by making. Just like there are two types of teachers, teachers by choice and teachers by chance. Teachers by choice are those people who wanted to become a teacher, who wish to become a teacher, and they say, it's my choice. I wanted to be here. They love that profession very much because they have achieved in realizing their choice. It is not everybody's case. Somebody may become a teacher by chance. It is inevitable these days. Teaching is a profession. Teaching is a job. There was a day people used to call poor teachers. Now teachers are not very poor unless they are denied the UGC scales. And I am sure all those who are getting UGC scales have no point in saying poor teachers. Teaching is no longer a poor man's job. It's a noble job, no doubt. Once you have landed here, either by choice or by chance, you must develop a love, a liking, an involvement, a respect towards your profession. That makes you a great teacher, like a great leader. Ultimately, every leader tried to become a teacher. You might have seen many politicians speak like teachers, philosophers, guides, and gurus. Vishwaguru. What is that? Vishwaguru. Vishwaguru is the greatest leader who have the power to influence the worldly affairs. Global political scenario is influenced by Vishwagurus. Geopolitics. In the geopolitics, we look for universal leaders. Leaders of the universe. Once you got into teaching, where classroom is your kingdom, where the students are the people whom you have to lead. Forget the concepts like boss and the subordinate. Leaders are not the bosses. Leaders are the facilitators. Leaders are the guides. Leaders are the philosophers. Leaders are the people who think of the good of everybody. On that score, once you got into teaching, it is vice versa. Leaders and teachers, teachers and leaders may acquire the qualities like dedication, interpersonal skills, adaptability, resilience, which ultimately makes their personality different. It is because of these qualities teachers look differently. Believe me, it is easy to recognize whether a person is a teacher or not. By listening to their words, their mannerisms, their actions, reactions, dressing pattern, you can understand he or she must be a teacher. This is what the personality outlook. What leadership qualities makes teachers effective? Or every teacher is a born leader? What are the leadership qualities that are required to be used in the classroom? Can the leadership that we use inside the classroom be extended outside? Are the questions that we need to raise and answer through this discussion of today. Please think on these lines. Whenever you feel like asking questions, you can ask me questions, or in the beginning or at the end. Teachers influence the society, and the social learning is a form of learning. Social learning can happen through every teacher's personality, because learning can happen in 5 different ways. Symbol. First, people use symbols as cognitive models that serves to guide their behavior. Our students look at us as the symbols. Are you a symbol of honesty, symbol of sincerity, symbol of punctuality, symbol of maturity? Students look at you and learn from you. People use forethought to anticipate, plan, and guide their behaviors and actions. Forethought. Forethought means based on their understanding and their belief about The person who is the leader or the teacher there, by looking at them, they learn. By looking at them, they predict, anticipate, think whether it is going to be a good or bad action to be with that person. People learn vicariously, indirectly. People learn indirectly. You will be knowing Dronacharya and the Ekalavya. Ekalavya learned from Dronacharya indirectly, although he was not directly taught by that person. Many people have moral guides, moral teachers, in whose memory and in whose thinking only they can learn things. People exhibit self-control by taking personal responsibility. It's also true. People control themselves in the memory and the impression of the characters that they consider as their teacher or leader. It is the self-control that makes people to learn. People have differing levels of self-efficacy. Everybody will measure their achievements in the light of the achievements made by their role model, their teacher, or the person whom they consider as their teacher. Teacher can be anybody who teaches anything. But all of us, I and you, were designated teachers. We are appointed as teachers. Our teachers are anybody. Teachers may be anybody who can teach, who can influence, who can make a positive impact. That could be the reason for Wordsworth to say, nature is my teacher. Nature is my teacher. See, when somebody says, nature is my teacher, and the teacher is equal to the nature. And in many societies, nature is equated with God. That's the reason in India, teachers are respected so much. Teachers must have a different personality. Anybody can afford to do mistakes in the society, but a teacher cannot. Anybody's mistakes will be tolerated in the society, but a teacher's mistake is glorified. The reason is, we don't expect teachers to commit mistake. I remember the statement in my mind, that is, there is a popular saying, if a doctor commits a mistake, that mistake will be buried. When a doctor commits a mistake, the patient may die. As a result, that patient's body will be buried. If a lawyer commits a mistake, that mistake may be hanged. What happens if a lawyer commits a mistake? He may lose the case and his client may be punished, and the maximum punishment may be capital punishment. It may be hanged. A lawyer's mistake may be hanged. A doctor's mistake may be buried. But a teacher's mistake, a teacher's mistake will spread into generations. Teacher's mistake will spread into generations. To substantiate this, I remember an incident where when everybody was taking notes in the classroom, one person was sitting without writing anything. The teacher went and asked, how irresponsible you are. Everybody is taking notes, but you are looking at my face. Why can't you take the notes? Student said, sir, I have the notes at home. How come? I am dictating notes now. How come you have the notes? Student said, sir, my dad was your student. He has taken the notes. That notes is at home. That should not be the teaching. Teaching must be afresh. Teaching must be relevant, related. And if you make people to believe that you are the role model for them, then it is easy to reach out to them. First, you must influence your students to accept you as their teacher. First, the audience must accept that whatever you are telling is worth listening. That is the toughest task, believe me, these days. Why teaching is tough today, Teaching is difficult because I started by saying, many a time people think knowledge, information is knowledge. What they are getting in the Google is information. It is not the knowledge. But people think what you speak for hours together in the class, I can get it in 5 minutes on the YouTube. I can get it on the internet. Ready-made notes are available. And more than anything, students have no patience to listen. These days, that too after COVID-19, in the name of privacy, in the name of what is that, making people to live in isolation, they have learned to be alone. First of all, students cannot be happy inside the class. They cannot sit with others. Their socializing skills have become weak. Their listening capacity got reduced. In psychology, there is a saying called, what is that? The listening capacity. The listening capacity of the people got reduced. The span of attention, what we call span of attention, when we were all student, the span of attention was 20 minutes. In a 45 minutes class, first 20 minutes were the most crucial period. If the class is interesting during the first 20 minutes, the remaining 45 minutes we used to enjoy. Today, the span of attention is reduced to 4 minutes. When you start a class, within that first 4 minutes, your student will decide whether the class is going to be interesting or not. You need to make the first 4 minutes very impressive, meaningful, involve the students, grab their attention, and keep them to listen for the remaining 1 hour or 1.5 hours. How challenging it is. This is the toughest task for a teacher. Whatever you say in the middle of the class, that will not be taken seriously unless your introductory part is significant, impressive. Very, very challenging task these days, teaching. And teaching has become tough and tougher with the advancement of technology. That too, these days, artificial intelligence has taken everything into its control. As a result, we need to grow with the technology. We must make people to say that no, teachers cannot be replaced by technology. Technology is technology. Teachers are different. Unless you show that teaching is a sensitive and emotional job, people will never respect the teachers. This is what I wanted to convey. See here, what makes leaders, you need to think leaders are the product of the situation. Leaders are the result of the reciprocal activity that they do. It's a situation. When the situation demands, you need to respond in the appropriate way. When everybody kept mum, who speaks, who raises his hand and say, I am here, and who react to the situation will become the leader. There may be transactional leaders. Transactional leaders are those who complete the task assignment given to them in time. By doing your job effectively, you can become a leader. Transformational leaders are those who don't just discharge their duties, but make significant changes in the system. Transformation. Inside the classroom, we need to transform the people, not just completing 1 hour, 1.5 hours, things like that. Efficiency and effectiveness are two different things. Only efficiency does not matter unless it is effective. There is nothing to say that I was there inside the class for 1.5 hours, but what is important is what did you do there during that 1.5 hours? Cooperative leaders. Cooperative leaders are those who always care for the people. Leadership is always for the people, to make the people comfortable, happier. And teachers must also see that students are happy inside the class. But when I say make the students happy, it is not to say that allow them to do anything that they want. They are still students. They have excuses, but you as a teacher have no excuse. You have to discharge your duties effectively, and you need to be adaptive. Great leaders are those who can get adapted into any situation. With power, without power, you must prove your worth. And good teachers are those who can adapt into situation. Many a time teachers say, what shall we do? They cannot follow us. They don't have the capacity to understand my teaching. No, I don't appreciate you when you say present day students are not capable of learning. We must first accept that we are not capable of reaching out to them. If I ask you a simple question, Given an opportunity, how will you describe your students? What is your opinion about your present day students? The society say present day teachers are not responsible, present day teachers are not inspiring, present day teachers are not dedicated. But we know what are our students. If I ask you a question, what is your opinion about your students? Can anybody react to my question? Can you describe your present batches of students? If yes, what is your reaction about the students? How do you describe your students?
Professor, can I answer for this?
Please, please, please. I love to listen to you.
Yes, nowadays the students are more analytical.
More
And,
analytical.
Yes, more analytical. They are making their own analysis and inferences also. And
Correct.
they are coming to own justification.
Exactly.
Yeah, earlier, every district one or two colleges. So they could not
Correct.
compare with competitive colleges, students. Now, our
Correct.
notes are, they are sharing to other college students also. So they are taking
Okay.
as any other college material also. And they are telling, sir, in this institute, that faculty told how to resolve this issue this way. Why you are not covered this?
Correct.
The same topic they are comparing with the other institute faculty also. Whether you are knowingly, unknowingly known that faculty, but your materials are shared, your contents are shared, your thoughts are shared to the same domain group of people. It is shared. This is my opinion today as any student.
I do appreciate. I do appreciate. Any
Yes.
other views about the present day students, the new generation students?
Sir, can I
The new
add on to
generation.
what, sir, I
Tell me,
think
madam, please.
it's, yes, sir. I think it is their nature of disagreement. Most of the times we go on complaining that they disagree with whatever we teach. But I believe, sir, disagreement is the first step in learning. So they should not believe or
Correct.
adopt whatever we say. When there is disagreement, there is scope for learning. So we can broaden the horizon of teaching learning process and we can also learn from them. This is what I believe from the present
Good,
generations.
good, good, good. Any more views? Because you should know the type of audience who are sitting in front of you. Unless you know the audience, you cannot devise your deliveries. Any more reactions? Wonderful reaction responses by Madam Sumangala and Gurunathan. The present generation of students, they are blessed with lot many things which I and you never had it. The information technology and the revolution in the field of information science made them to have everything in their fingertips. And many a time students who are really intelligent think, I know everything. Making people who think that I know everything to listen to our lecture is a challenge. And another thing, they are confident of questioning anything. That is the beauty of democracy. I appreciate Madam Sumangala when she said that is the beginning and the first step of learning. Unless you suspect, unless you hate, unless you dislike the status quo, you can never become innovative. To become innovative, you must suspect. But suspecting is not everything. Questioning is not everything. Questions must be relevant. Suspicion must be reasonable. And when people think, I know everything, that makes them to believe what they know is everything. They forget the fact that there is another side of the coin. They forget the other side of the coin and they love questioning, they love criticizing, they love commenting on others. And they are multitaskers. Multitaskers. At a time, they do more than one thing. Even inside the class, they do multitasking. They pretend as if they are listening to your lecture and working on something else with both the hands on their mobile phone. And we have reached a situation wherein we cannot tell them not to use mobile phones. If you say phones are banned, they take it as a punishment. And nobody likes the punishment. Restrictions nobody likes. Unless there is disciplining, unless there is certain impositions, teaching can never become effective. I'm a very conventional, traditional type of teachers. But these days, in the name of modern methods, freedom, etc., where 100% liberty makes the students to become uh, very lenient and lethargic in their learning process, because they think I can do it later. I can do it later. And everybody speaks about something called scope, whether this subject has the scope, whether this is important for the examination. All goal-oriented action. If it is important, and a question will be there on this topic in the examination, they take it seriously. Otherwise, they never look at the topics. They never enjoy listening to lecture. And more than anything, they don't have the patience. Instant, fast food culture, everything they want instant. These things are the real challenges. And they have access to, as professor said, they have access to information and notes from other colleges, other institutions. Forget other institutions. On the net, you can get anything that you want without much efforts. But that is not the intention. Writing examination, scoring high marks must not be the outcome of education. Outcome of education is total personality development. That's the reason our NEP is talking about multidisciplinary and holistic education, multidisciplinary holistic approach to education. To make them holistic in their learning, we need to create an ambience where the significance of life and the importance of knowledge is made known to them. But ultimately, we need to make them good leaders. We need to make them leaders who can care for the community, care for the good of everybody. What makes leader? I said it is not only leadership qualities for you, even to prepare them as leaders, we need to change their mindset about what makes leaders. Is it the money? Is it the pedigree? Is it the belief? Is it the actions, personalities? Is it looks? Is it connections? Is it the work ethics? Or is it by chance anybody can become a leader? These questions are still there in the minds of the students. I'm not going to define leadership in the way that we discuss academically. But everybody wanted to become a leader. But if you ask a question, what makes a leader, people say leaders are those who are powerful, leaders are those who are influential, leaders are those who are intelligent, leaders are those who can mobilize people and the resources to work, leaders are those who can bring and effectuate positive changes, leaders are those with high values, standards, ethics, and who can act as role models. And leaders are those who are well known and famous, and leaders are those who can operate with a mixture of formal and informal authority. See, even as teachers, we need to keep all these things in mind. Sometimes we need to be capable of mobilizing people. Say, for instance, organizing events. First of all, attracting students towards the class itself is a significant task that you have to do. I was listening to a lecture on a new normal in the present day classrooms. What is the new normal in the present day class? Empty classrooms, empty chairs. Believe me, given a chance, given a choice also, if the students are free, most of them will never turn towards the classes. Unless you say 75% attendance is mandatory, internal assessment is mandatory, students have no reason to come to the classes at all. We must create an ambience. We must make an impression that if I don't attend the class, I am missing something. When will the student think like that? When he is also equally curious, equally committed towards academics. But in the present day context, we don't expect the student to be like that also. Say, for instance, we have given a lot of flexibility in everything. We are trying to control them in a very soft approach. Be soft, nothing wrong, but make the person responsible. Are they responsible enough? The type of students I and you handle inside the classrooms, they are neither matured nor kids, but they think they are grown-ups. Their mental maturity is not that competent to understand